In this video today we have Klaus and his 987 Gen 1 based Cayman. Klaus has appeared on this channel before. He's got 718 GT4 Sports Cup Edition. This is a great video to get some insight from an owner that's got both cars. If you'd like to feature your car on this channel, send me a video at maxrevscars@gmail.com, and Klaus, over to you, mate.
Hi Max. I heard that there are some guys asking if I can show my 987 base 2.7 2008 Cayman. This is the car, here we go. It's my favorite Porsche. It's the first Porsche I bought in my life. I have goosebumps while saying that, really. I have a close relation to this car, I have to say, many stories going along with it. And I would like to show you some features, and I would also like to compare it with my 982 Cayman GT4 Sports Club Edition. Here we go. Every time I'm driving this car, I have to say I'm really lucky to own the 987 base. For me, the 987 is always a car that I love to drive, and although I own other Porsche cars, I have to say I'm very proud owning 987. I'm very proud owning one of these old Caymans, and yeah, as I said, fantastic driving experience, loving it. Is there a difference 987 compared to my 718 or 982 Sports Cup Edition, my GT4? Of course there is a difference. If you ask me, is the difference so big that you need to buy a GT4? Depends on what you want. I think if you really just want to have a sporty car that looks cool, which is quality built, and that is a Porsche, you can easily go with a 987 base or whatever. The 987 base engine is known for its reliability, and I can say that there had never been a problem with the engine. The gearing in this one here with the sports package is absolutely cool for the 987 generation. I think it's the best one that I've driven in all 987s. And I'm not saying that because I have it. I'm really saying it because I compared several 987s already, and I have to say this is really my favorite one. Clutch-wise, the 987 is a little bit harder compared to the 718. That might surprise many, but the 981 clutch on the GT4 had been pretty stiff, I know that. The 718 GT4 or 982 clutch is super soft, and I have to say that the 987 clutch is stiffer than the one on the 982 GT4. From the interior, I mean, I have the Sports Club Edition. It is, of course, not comparable in my opinion. It's a totally different, and not car, but at the end of the day, we're talking about a GT product from Porsche, and this is just I would not say a basic, but as the name already says, it's a base Cayman out of 2008. I now have 110,000 or nearly 111,000 kilometers on the clock. The car still has the original Porsche Approved warranty. So for me, a mid-engine car always needs a Porsche Approved, because if there is something going on with the engine, you don't want to open your your wallet. And it gives you a very comfortable feeling. There had been a couple of issues with for example, with my nav system. It is already the third one that I got into the car, because I had issues with the other ones. And every time I had these issues, it was removed and I got a new one from Porsche. So absolutely no problem. I'm a big fan of the Porsche Approved, I have to say. Yeah, I have this nice steering wheel. There had been some triangle steering wheels at the time. I have the round one. Inside of the car is pretty basic. the car is basic, and that's what I really love about the car, I have to say. There is no Alcantara. I do have, as I said, the PCM on board with an external SIM card. Right now the SIM is not in the slot. It has this old 2005 map system, which is a little bit, yeah, has a classic feeling already. From time to time you end up in certain streets where you did not want to go because they do not exist anymore, or there are certain streets that are not in the database because it's not that frequently updated. Yeah, here some leather parts over here, but as I said, pretty basic car over here. Also this plastic stuff over here. I do not have the Bose. I have the normal standard audio system on board, which at that time I have to say absolutely fulfilled my needs. Now as I have Bose, I have to say, of course, Bose is a much nicer sound system, but you know, everything works in this car, and that's what I really love about this car, I have to say. It is really a very functional car, very basic car. You can drive from A to B in a very relaxed, nice way. If you like to, you can take the car a little bit sportier. And I went for the Carrara white. White is my favorite Porsche color, and I have to say I never regret the choice. These wheels are called the Porsche design wheels. Yeah, I think they look absolutely cool on this 987. The 987 has already kind of a classic touch to me. It's very wavy. I like the way the lines are on this car. It is really like a base model, I have to say. It's a 2.7 liter, 245 horsepower car. I do not have the sports exhaust. At that time, when I bought the car, I was looking at many Porsche dealers, and as I said, it was my first Porsche, and I was so lucky to get one of these, because this has a sport package. The 2.7s had been sold with a 5-gear manual transmission at that time, and there had been only a few cars available with the sports package. What is the sports package? Sports package at that time had been the PASM dampers. So you can soften or harden the dampers. And the car is a little bit lower than the standard one. I think it's 20 millimeters, which makes the car a little bit more sporty from the outside. And most important, I do have, I don't know if you can see that now, I do have a 6-speed manual in this one, not the standard 5-speed manual. And I have to say that this manual is fantastic. I have been driving the 718 GT4 Sports Cup Edition yesterday evening for around about 3 hours, and I sat into this car just a couple of minutes ago, and of course everything doesn't feel as tight as on the 718, of course. I mean, it's a brand new car with 500 kilometers on the clock now, but this car is nearly 12 years old, and I really love driving this car. It's really a car to drive. It's not about, you know, looking fancy or whatever. It's really a pure sports feeling that you have in the car. And every time I can do it now is every time I start the engine and hear the 6-cylinder in the rear. It's something I really looking forward in the morning when I start the engine and have a drive in the car. I have to say the 987 is a car that still fascinates me and that I really love to drive. And that is one of the reasons why I never decided to sell this car. This car has so many stories that go along with it. I picked up my son from hospital after his birth in this car and drove home with him in this little two-seater. I already survived a hard accident with this car whilst the truck was driving into the left rear of this car, and the car had to be repaired at Porsche for a couple of weeks. And yeah, it is a base model, but it's pure.
It's worth noting at this point that Klaus and I both agree it's great to keep your Porsche original, and this is something I keep wrestling with when I think about aftermarket products for my car.
It's the Cayman, the first Cayman lineup that was produced in the 2000s, and I have to say I'm pretty proud to own one of these. And because everybody's going for S, GTS and all that stuff, I think that the base model is a very underestimated model, and at least in my opinion, and that is not important for me, but that is at least my opinion, I think that the base model will be a nice car for the future, and I think that there are many people going to look forward to drive one of these cars in a couple of years, and yeah, enjoy it.